Hi everyone, for tonight's nightcap and review, I'm having a whiskey and diet, and trust me, I need this to be strong after the book I just read, and I'm really excited to talk about it with you guys. So we're going to be talking about Queen of Light by Amber Thoma. This is a book I received as a ARC. I got an e-ARC, and I was lucky enough to be on her PR team, so I got this copy as well. But of course, I'm going to give my honest opinion. These are the tropes, and these are the content warnings. And I want to say right off the bat, 5 stars. This book was amazing. I could not put it down. I wanted to neglect all of my responsibilities and just read this book straight through. But I was able to stay on track and get it done in 3 days. But she's thick, so keep that in mind, but so worth it. Oh my God, this book was amazing. But before I keep gushing about it and ranting about it, because I got some things to say to Amber, let's talk about what this book's about. So what's this book about? Well, this is a 3-book series so far. There are more books coming, but so far we have the first book, which is Prince of Darkness, the novella Heirs of Darkness, and then now Queen of Light. Do not skip over the novella. It matters to the storyline because there's Easter eggs. The plot of that book really adds to the character development of one of the male main characters. Don't skip over it, but it is an ongoing storyline from book 1. So if you haven't read book 1 or the novella, you might want to skip this review so that you don't get any spoilers. So this book picks up with Tatiana having kidnapped Anin. Anin is her half-sister, and Tatiana is the queen of the day court. Anin was kidnapped from the night court and from Kes, who Anin hasn't let the secret slip, but they are in fact mates. Kes is slow on the upkeep, but he finally figures out at the end that the reason he has just been so obsessed and enamored with her is in fact that they are mates. He realizes it at the end after when she is kidnapped. Now, the reason Tatiana kidnapped Anin is that even though she sits on the throne of the day court, the land, who basically gives her power and ability to rule, has rejected her after she has started to use forbidden blood magic, as well as dissolved into madness and hears whispers. So Tatiana is scared that she will lose her seat on the throne if another heir is produced, like her half-sister. So she is scared that the land will choose her sister as queen, dethroning her. So she takes Anin to a torture chamber to be unalived in a blood ritual so that she can absorb her magic, and there is no heir for the land to claim as the new queen of the court. But the land does in fact accept Anin, basically making her now invincible and able to recover but not withstand anything that Tatiana does for her. So it's Tatiana, who is unable to unalive her sister, basically just keeps her as a torture pet for hundreds of years, or 100+ years, let's say that. And Anin is just basically trying to survive with what little sanity she can for all the things that she has gone through and all the things that she has witnessed. But Kes and Anin's twin witch sisters are not just sitting by while this is going on doing nothing. They are planning, they are training, they are trying to research methods to have a defense against this blood magic that can control people against their will. And they are always trying to do these little missions where they can get as close as they can to try and free Anin from Tatiana's grasp. But nothing is working, but they are not giving up. And with all of that going on, you have our other couple, Kirian, who is the Night Court King, along with Etan, who is a mortal witch, who is now Queen of the Witches, as well as Queen of the Night Court. And the Night Court is coming to terms with the fact that their queen is a witch. They've considered witches to be inferior. Now, Etan has a lot on her plate as the Night Court Queen, trying to gain the respect of her subjects, as well as trying to get a handle on her magic abilities that she has neglected her whole life. And she's trying to help Kes and the other witches trying to come up with a plan to defeat Tatiana and her blood magic. You would think she would have her mate to lean on, but that's not the case necessarily. They love one another, certainly because of the mate bond, but that doesn't mean they always like one another, because she is a mortal witch and grew up as a mortal, so she has a very strong moral compass, while Kirian is a Night Court Fae and doesn't really have morals. So they butt heads on a lot of things because all he really cares about is himself and her. He doesn't really care about anyone else, which is why he's kind of dissolved into a single mind obsession, almost into madness due to the fact that Tatiana has blood magic, because even though he is super powerful, she could control him, and due to his past, he cannot have that happen, so he's doing everything he can to find a way to counteract that so he can protect himself and Etan. And if that wasn't enough, you also have disappearing witches that are never seen from again, and a spreading rot in the day court land that is destroying everything in its path as it inches closer and closer to the day court. Now, I know that all seems overwhelming with all those different plots and all those different point of views from all these different characters, but trust me, it does not feel overwhelming as you're reading the story. If anything, it only enhances the story because it's adding and adding and adding to what you hope will be a big bang at the end of this book. So trust me when I say the ending on this book is next level insane. It does leave on a cliffhanger, but what a cliffhanger. It's one of the best I ever read. So much so, I almost chucked my book across the room, and I'm not a book thrower. I think that has to do with the amazing writing. It was so well done. It made you so invested in these characters and their journey, which is, again, probably why I give it 5 stars, that when they were feeling their lows, I was feeling them with the characters, and I was even crying sometimes. When they were having their highs, you were cheering them on, and you just kept getting this build up and build up, expecting a big bang at the end of the book, and instead you got the best or worst cliffhanger ever, depending on your viewpoint. And it was just such a good book, and I really do recommend this series to anyone who loves fantasy, fae, morally gray characters. You will not regret this book. Again, this book will be available April 23rd. The other books are available on KU, so make sure to give them a download. You would not regret reading this series. I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.